Joining us now is the U.S. Border Patrol Sector Chief Gregory Bavino. Chief Bavino, thank you so much for making time for us today.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
Earlier this summer, Chief Bavino, we saw you standing on the steps of the state capitol after you had just carried out a raid at a Home Depot in South Sacramento. You noted you're not going anywhere. I understand a lot of your work is down there in Southern California, but how are you deciding which communities you go into?
Sure. The communities that we go into and our law enforcement actions, like the one you saw in Sacramento, are based on what we call targeted enforcement. We have predetermined or predefined targets that we look to create a law enforcement function to go after. So that's what we did in Sacramento. That particular operation, there were some individuals that we were after, and we did end up apprehending several individuals that were aggravated felons and some folks that you would not want walking the streets of your community with impunity.
Could we expect to see more operations like those up here in Northern California? I know we mainly saw just the one. I understand there are smaller operations, but could we see something like that again?
Yes, ma'am. It's very possible. We go where the threat takes us. And Los Angeles, as you know, is rife with illegal immigration and some pretty bad actors down here in Los Angeles. But we go where that threat is, and if we see a threat in Sacramento or San Francisco or anywhere else that we think we need to go, then we'll certainly go there and do that.
Something we've heard from our local law enforcement up here in Northern California is that California's sanctuary state law, also known as Senate Bill 54, that has tied their hands from working with you there at Border Patrol and with immigration officials overall. I mean, is that accurate in your eyes? Is there a way you all could work together under the law right now?
Sure. Well, yeah, they're exactly right. SB 54 does tie their hands. You know, I started law enforcement in California back in 1996 when there wasn't an SB 54, and the cooperation between state and local law enforcement and immigration officers, whether it was Border Patrol or ICE, was fantastic, and we didn't have the immigration problem that we see now. But with SB 54 and sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, and things like that, it creates an atmosphere of lawlessness, especially with immigration, and that's why we're in the communities now, because it's us and us alone that prosecute those immigration laws. If we had that buy-in and that help from the state and locals like we used to, I think you would see a lot. The communities would be a lot safer, and then you might not see Border Patrol as much in a place like Sacramento. But right now, when you have child rapists standing in front of big box stores or aggravated felons that have spent years and years in prison, or individuals that may have a significant criminal record in a foreign country, when those folks are in the community and nothing can be done about it, that's why you're going to see us in those communities. And when I said we're not going anywhere, that's what I'm talking about. The mission's not accomplished until those individuals are taken off the streets. And as you know, as we go after those individuals, anyone else that is an illegal alien is subject to arrest.
Are there any local jurisdictions that you think are handling this properly or doing a lot, therefore you are not in those communities, that you could share?
Again, we'll go where that threat is. I think there are some jurisdictions that do the best job that they can. Again, they are restricted from working with immigration officers, with a few exceptions. However, there are some jurisdictions that we know do a fantastic job. You know, whether it's Sheriff Youngblood down in Bakersfield, Sheriff Bianco, and some of those sheriffs do a fantastic job in keeping their community safe. I can't say enough about the fact they do communicate and would love to work with us if they could. So we'll work with anyone that we can, any state or local agency, anywhere, anytime, any place.
Switching gears to an operation, a group of Southern California Democrats in Congress are demanding answers from you and other high-ranking officials in the Trump administration after you and several agents assembled outside of Governor Gavin Newsom's recent press conference in LA. He was launching a push by Democrats to try to redistrict here in California, to send more Democrats to the U.S. House of Representatives. Chief, why were you there outside of that press conference?
Sure. When we talk, you said we assembled. That's a little different than what happened. That's called a roving patrol function, something that we do every day in Los Angeles. That day we had approximately 40 teams spread across Los Angeles, whether it was the inner city or some of the communities in and around Los Angeles. So there were over 40 law enforcement teams, several hundred law enforcement officers. You just happened to see us and me there. But I think what's important is that roving patrol function was within about a block of our ICE facility, a facility that we work out of every day. So, I'm glad that Governor Newsom and anyone else was in our territory, which is what that was, within just a few steps of a location that we work out of every day. And I think more important is the fact that that roving patrol did apprehend targets. One of those targets was a Tren de Aragua member. Tren de Aragua, as you know, is the Venezuelan gang that terrorizes Ma and Pa America. That individual was within about 2 blocks of the location that you just talked about. That individual was taken off the streets. So I think that we accomplished the mission that day, and we're going to continue to be in that area and all areas of Los Angeles, anywhere, anytime that the threat dictates that we're there.
Governor Gavin Newsom and other California leaders have been pointing specifically to your operations as a key reason for why people should show up to the polls this November to approve that Democratic redistricting effort to allow, again, more Democrats to go to the U.S. House of Representatives. I mean, what's your response to that, Chief?
Yeah, as far as the politics, I'm gonna stay out of the politics. I'm definitely apolitical. But what I will say is anyone that chooses illegal aliens over American citizens, that chooses criminals, that chooses Tren de Aragua walking our streets, whether it's Los Angeles or your fine city of Sacramento, I've got a problem with that. And I think that that's probably a message that people don't want to hear, whether it's paying an illegal alien $300 to stay in the United States and possibly continue to commit crimes, or supporting criminality in general. So if that's a message that anyone wants to send, whether it's the governor or anyone else, then I can't imagine anyone's that would be in support of something like that. I think that the citizens of California, the citizens of America, are ready for law and order. When you have several million individuals pour across that border over a 4-year period, several million, many of whom have significant criminal histories, something has to be done about that, because those individuals go on to prey on the citizens in our great country. Talking about that, just this morning, we apprehended our 5,000th apprehension here in Los Angeles since I've been here. That's just over the past couple of months, our 5,000. And guess what that 5,000th was? That individual spent approximately 164 months in prison, was an aggravated felon. That was our 5,000th apprehension today. So do we want people like that walking the streets of Sacramento or Los Angeles or Bakersfield or San Francisco? Think about that and what damage that individual or other individuals or the thousands of other individuals nationwide could do to our communities, our families, our children. That's the way I look at it. And as long as those individuals are walking the streets, I'm going to be here taking them off the streets. The U.S. Border Patrol, the Green Team, will be on the streets, whether it's Sacramento or anywhere else. We're going to be on the streets taking them off the streets, because that's why we're here. And we're not going anywhere. I keep saying we're not going anywhere. The more of those that we apprehend, the harder we go.
Understood. Chief Avino, before I let you go, my last one here, there's still this proposal moving through our state capitol that would prohibit all officers, and it attempts to include those officers at the federal level from covering their faces. This was filed in response to some of your operations. I mean, what's your response to the existence of this proposal, and why are your officers covering their faces?
Sure. It reminds me a lot of SB 54. Supporting criminality over the protection of our American citizens and our communities. they can pass those state laws, but again, we're federal officers. That Title 10 privileges and immunities would exempt us, obviously, from something like that. So they can pass all the laws. It would be more, wishful thinking, I think, than an actual law. We're going to protect our agents. Many politicians, many individuals are calling for, take MS-13, for instance, to take positions up against law enforcement, specifically immigration officers. And that type of rhetoric, that type of damaging rhetoric is why we have 1,000% increase in assaults on federal officers, 1,000% increase. We just had 2 assaults on federal officers yesterday here in Los Angeles, just in Los Angeles. So while that's being done, it puts our agents in danger, whether they're being doxxed or followed or whatever. I'm going to protect those agents, and face coverings make sense in the protection of our agents. So, as long as that rhetoric's out there, I'm going to make sure those agents are protected, and that's one method for protecting our agents. So, scale down that rhetoric and cooperate so we can get the violent criminals and the bad people and bad things off the streets, and then you might not have us there in the first place.
All right. Chief Gregory Bovino, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.